What is up? In this video, I'm going to cover the abundant checkout flow, pretty much like a tutorial for everything concerning that. I'm going to go through how to set it up, what to put in, all the nuances you need to pay attention to, and also some golden nuggets, for example, how to avoid and remove shipping protection from the flow and everything like that. I'm going to go through the entire strategy, how those emails look like, and what you need to pay attention to. So without further ado, let's start immediately. So welcome in this video. You can see it's a bit of later in the day, but still in this video, I'm going to go through the abundant checkout tutorial for Klaviyo in 2024. As you can see here, this is probably you, an e-commerce brand owner. You want to set up some of your abundant checkout flows. You look at the cookie cutter abundant checkout flow and you think, oh my gosh, this is wonderful. And this is actually, thinking of why someone haven't bought yet. And this is basically the entire thing of this video. I'm going to show you all the ins and outs and step-by-step strategy on how to set it up. But I'm also going to cover the entire strategy that we use for all of our clients, because a lot of brands and a lot of agencies, they set them up as just, having, being there to remind. And don't get me wrong, it will generate you some results, but if you actually want to scale up your brand, you want to get the best results possible, it might make sense to, put a little bit more thought into your abundant checkout, because there are multiple reasons why someone haven't bought yet and why they stopped in the first place. And that's something that not a lot of brands and agencies utilize. That we do. So yeah, I'm gonna basically start with the entire technical part, how to set it up. So initiate the checkout is what we need. So basically you can click on flows in your Klaviyo account. You just click on flows, click on create flow, and then you can just go through the next stage, which you could just type in abundant, and then you can see recharge, high value card versus low value card, blah blah blah. But what we want to look into is the abundant cart reminder. It's in theory not a cart reminder. If you actually take a look at how Klaviyo names things, this is the abundant checkout, which is having initiated checkout as our trigger. There's also something else that's called abundant cart, which is where we have the trigger being added to cart. This is kind of the next flow tutorial that I will do, and it requires some custom coding, some liquid template to implement into the Shopify store. So in theory, abundant cart reminder is not right, but the setup is right. So what you then end up with is having these 1-2 emails, 1 SMS, and that's pretty much it. But what you have is placed order 0 times since starting this flow and has not been in the flow the last 7 days. You can always adjust that. Maybe you want 7, maybe you want 14 days, but that's the setup you want. So that's a good starting point. From then on, we can go through the entire strategy. I have a few things to keep in mind. I have a few little nuggets prepared for you, so stick till the end. But what I want to address in the first place is how it should not look like. And this is what I used to see pretty much all the time. And it's basically how it should not look like. It's reminder email 1, 10% off reminder / last chance. If this is you, then you probably need to change a few things, because this is not the ideal setup. Of course, it will generate you some results, and don't get me wrong, this is very, very profitable for you if you scale it up. But there's way more to that. And that, what we want to understand is, why is someone not buying in the first place? So this is what I mean with, the meme here is a lot of brands, they do not really think about, okay, someone stopped purchasing, we just need to remind them, which is not the truth. So what we try to take a look at is, why did someone not buy? And usually there are multiple reasons for that. One is they lack trust, so they don't trust you, or they have some questions, some objections, some logistical stuff that they have in mind, and that's the reason why they didn't purchase. They totally forgot about you, so you need to remind them, or they do not trust you in terms of you solving their problems. They are not aware of their problems. They are not aware of the solutions. They are not aware of the unique selling points. And that's basically what we're trying to do within those emails. So there are multiple things to use to achieve that. One of them is, you just remind them of the unique selling points, of the benefits, you break them down, you go through some of the frequently asked questions, how long is shipping, what if it doesn't work, what happens after, blah, blah, return and stuff like that. You can use that, or maybe there are some technical questions when it comes to your items. That's something you can handle in the abundant checkout flow. Or they do not trust you. So what we leverage here is social proof, reviews, maybe some publications, things you were featured, blog articles, or a guarantee if whatever desired outcome does not happen, you can get a refund and stuff like that. So that's kind of the angles that we use. And then you can also work with incentives and try to see what you can do there. In the end, what we're trying to do within the abundant checkout is also give people something new on each email. So if we have a reminder, it should not be, hey, you forgot something in first email, and then a second email, it's like, hey, you forgot something. Or like, did you leave something here? Or like some alternative of that. So this is how it should not look like, and this is how it should look like. You have reminder email 1, which is basically, reminding people. Plus, you give them social proof so they can see, oh, this stuff is legit, this is what other people say. And then if you want to get super nuanced, you can even take a look at the social proof that you use and try to mention and go through the objections that some people have when it comes to your items. So that way you handle the objections, plus you show social proof. Very, very important here. The next one is handling FAQs. So for example, as I said, logistical questions can be mentioned there, or, building trust when it comes to, the most obvious questions. So for example, if you're a fashion store, like what happens if it doesn't suit me? Or for example, you're a supplement brand, how do I use whatever supplement? Or how do I take? How much do I take? Yada, yada, yada. All of that can be handled in an abundant checkout email. The next one leverage that we use a lot is, for example, we split it up between, and what you can do in Klaviyo, you can split it up and have one below the free shipping threshold and one above the free shipping threshold. And then you basically say, hey, you can use this code for free shipping, and you have free shipping unlocked now. Use that code for your order. Or what you can do is you just remind people that they qualify for free shipping. In the end, it's a reminder, but you remind them of their incentive, or like of an incentive, or like something that they qualify for. And a lot of people like shipping in general is something that not a lot of people want to spend money on. So them being reminded on, oh my gosh, I do not need to spend money for shipping. That's great. Or getting a discount on shipping is wonderful. Like it sometimes works depending on AOV and stuff. It works better than 10% off when it comes to getting conversions and stuff. So test that. Have a look into this. Next one is 10% off plus reminder of the benefits. The next one is 10% plus urgency. And then one thing you can do here as well, instead of just having benefits or urgency, you can actually show them some alternatives. I'm usually not a big fan of doing that in the abundant checkout and rather in the browser abandonment, because in the abundant checkout, if they are in that flow, they are already kind of closer to the buying decision. So what you do not want to end up with is confusing them with giving them too many options. So imagine, you basically dialed in and you want to buy shoes, and you basically looked at all the shoes within that store, and then you get an email and you show them, I don't know, a pair of jeans, and now he's like, oh my gosh, I need jeans, I do not need jeans. I take a look at the jeans, and then they forget the shoes, and then they do not end up buying, because it's like you basically take them at step 1 in terms of their buying journey again, because they were so close to making the purchase with that item, and then you redirect them to something else, and then they restart the buying cycle, which is not really that good. So that's why I'm not really a big fan of that, but you could have that within your abundant checkout flow. The next one is a little hack that we love to use. It's a 15% off bump up. You can even do 10% if you want to. And it's a personal plain text email, either from the support team, from the marketing manager, or from the founder. Plus, you can work with guarantees if you want to, but the main goal here is to make it super personalized. So you do, like, for example, here what we did, Lucy from Sweat and Milk. In that case, we still had the email hello@sweatandmilk.com. But in theory, what you can actually do is, do lucy@sweatandmilk.com and match the profile picture with a picture of the founder. This is super personal. Like, it literally looks like, hey, I typed it in Gmail, and like, hey, I took a look at your order, your potential order. Here, take 50% off. So you can go super, super niche here, and you can go make it super, super personal, depending on your brand voice and stuff like that. But having a personal outreach email that looks super, super personal in the abundant checkout as the last breakup email, super, super powerful. Definitely leverage that. And that's basically the strategy that we use here. So as I said, 4 to 6 emails long, depending on percentage. We can offer an aggressiveness. You always want to adjust that to your brand. So take a look at your brand, take a look at your margins, take a look at the offers that you can do, take a look at your buying behavior from your customer, and then you can adjust that. So for example, if it's more like an impulse buy, you just want to get them like ASAP. Like, hey, here's the reminder, here's 10% off, buy now. But if it's like a longer time cycle, a buying cycle, you might want to remind them the first time and then remind them the second time, because usually price point is just, they just need to get familiar with the item and stuff. So price point is not really that relevant for like premium items, for example. So that way, reminders work better. But as I said, depends on your brand. You need to take a look at that, or you basically let us take a look at that. But yeah, that's the technical setup, the strategy. Now a few things to keep in mind. I would always, the first thing to A/B test is just test timing and subject lines. Obviously not at the same time, but timing and subject lines are such an easy A/B test to set up. It's super, super fast, but it actually makes a difference. So for example, test 30 minutes versus 4 hours for the first email. So for example, for some brands, it makes sense to send it out pretty fast. For some brands, it actually makes sense to send it like 4 hours. Just, as I said, depends on a lot of the audience and stuff like that. Use plain text emails within your abundant checkout as last reminders. It's great. The one thing that a lot of brands do is, and what I would not do and what we've seen a few times is, do not make the hero image too big. You want them to see their products as soon as possible and then redirect them to their cart. Because what happens if there's like a huge hero image and it doesn't even, is maybe like a total different item than what they put into their cart? This is usually not that efficient because, as I said, like people need to scroll down and stuff. So sometimes just a simple headline works, showing them the items and then getting them to click through. One thing, you can also apply static discount codes with, and then this little code here, and then use the discount code. This is something not a lot of agencies do or brands because they're not aware of that. And I think it's a cool thing. It just makes the customer cycle, the buying decision faster, and they do not have to manually put it in. They adjust the flow so it makes sense for you. That's something I mentioned. Conditional splits around the free shipping offer. Mentioned that as well. A few little nuggets that you're probably not aware of. One thing, auto apply discount, said that. A vertical abundant product blocks. This is how 95% of abundant checkout emails look like. Super, super ugly. It's like the image is super, super small and it's just not ideal. And what you can actually do instead of having this, you can actually have it vertical instead of horizontal. And that it just looks better, it's just bigger, and overall it's just way better when it comes to conversion rate. Super small, but it makes a difference on scale if you have a lot of emails. Another thing, make sure to not show shipping protections and other small additionals. So imagine one of those items being like a shipping protection for like $3. That's not something you want to remind them of, and it just looks ugly, and it's just not really good, I would say. And it's just, if you think logically, I do not have run like many A/B tests on that, but it's just something that you do not want to run into. So that's why we, for example, exclude that. There are two ways to do that. What you can do is you can tag items in Shopify, and basically everything that you do not want to have in those abundant checkout flows, you can tag them. So for example, here we tag them as AC exclude, and then now everything that is AC exclude, we exclude them from the product block. Or what you can also do is you can basically say, okay, this is just one item, and you just put everything that is not this name. So in that case, they have one item that is called Aufpreis, and we just basically say, okay, if it's not that, then show it, and if it's that, then do not show it. And that's kind of what we leverage, and that's something that you should definitely pay attention to. And then I just wanted to show you some examples. I already showed you the plain text one, but I also wanted to show you like what's possible. So here, for example, you see one of our emails for Karma Baker, a vegan and gluten-free bakery. So basically, we just say, hey, all the sweet possibilities. These selected Karma Baker goodies are still in your cart. Return to cart. So in theory, they can just return to cart without scrolling down. And you also make it like brand aligned. Like the sweet possibilities, you should always try to make the copy aligned for your brand and not just super generic, like, oh, you forgot something in your cart. This is usually not the best. So your yummy treats are still waiting for you, and then you show the items, return to cart. Still on the fence, here's what some of our satisfied customers have to say, and then you basically show the items. So good, almost ate the whole cake by myself, lol. Perfect desserts I've ordered many times over the years for my lovelies and me. These cupcakes jars are amazing, so moist and flavorful. Highly recommend. You will not be disappointed, Melissa. So we just make it, around that and the items, social proof, showing some different items, and return to cart. Super simple, but it makes sense. Here we have another example: 10% of your order, code no sweat 10, claim 10% off here. We show the items, code no sweat 10. Stepping into a world. So these are basically sweat-proof items, so people do not sweat that much. Stepping into a world free from sweat stains is life-changing. No more sweat stains, no more worries, no anxious thoughts. As you consider making this leap with Aegis, we want to make it easier for you with an exclusive 10% off to start your transformative journey. And then we basically handle some of the objections. How effective are products at stopping sweat marks? Blah, blah, blah. Are Aegis products suitable for sensitive skin? Yeah, yes, why? Blah, blah, blah. What if I don't like my Aegis products after purchasing them? Blah, blah, blah. And then you just redirect them to the stuff. Here, for example, some social brews. Here's what other people say that freed themselves from this pit-stained prison. Great product, great company, and then you go through some of the social proof. So I hope this video in and of itself was of value to you. If you want us to handle all of your flows, including such an abundant checkout, so you do not have to worry about anything of the technical setup, the copy, the design, the strategy, whatever it is, we will handle everything. Feel free to schedule a call with me. There's a button, not in this video, but in the description. There's a link you can click on, and then I see you there. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Take care, and have a wonderful rest of the day. I hope this abundant checkout tutorial was very, very helpful for you. As I said, if you want us to handle all of your abundant checkouts, all of your flows pretty much, the campaigns, design, copy, whatever it is, schedule a call with me. You will get a free audit by the end of it. And then if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them below this video. And then definitely make sure to scroll through the YouTube and make sure to be informed when it comes to all things Klaviyo, email marketing, Shopify, and e-com in general. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Take care.